How the Federal Reserve's next move could impact the housing market. So now this September, guys, all eyes are on the Federal Reserve. The overwhelming expectation is that they're going to cut what they call the federal funds rate at their upcoming meeting. And that'll be driven primarily by the recent signs that inflation is cooling and the job market is slowing down. Mark Zandi, he's the chief economist over at Moody's Analytics. He said they're ready to cut just as long as we don't get an inflation surprise between now and September, which we won't. But what does that mean for the housing market? And more importantly, for you as a potential home buyer or seller? Well, the federal funds rate is one of the key factors that influences mortgage rates. Things like the economy, geopolitical uncertainty, and more also have an impact. So when the Fed cuts the federal funds rate, it signals what's happening in the broader economy, and mortgage rates tend to respond. While a single rate cut might not lead to a dramatic drop in mortgage rates, it could contribute to the gradual decline that's already happening. And as Mike Frattoni, he's the chief economist over at the Mortgage Bankers Association, points out, once the Fed kicks off a rate cutting cycle, we do expect that mortgage rates will move somewhat lower. And any upcoming federal funds rate cut likely won't be a one-time event. Lawrence Yun, he's the chief economist over at the National Association of Realtors, he says, generally, the rate cutting cycle is not a one and done. 6 to 8 rounds of rate cuts are all likely through 2025. So here's what experts in the industry project for mortgage rates through the rest of this year. Okay, so one contributing factor to this ongoing gradual decline is the anticipated cuts from the Fed. Mortgage rates, let's see, in projections, if you just check here on the screen, this graph shows that the latest forecast from Fannie Mae, MBA, NAR, and Wells Fargo. So with recent improvement in inflation and signs of a cooling job market, a federal funds rate cut is likely to lead to a moderate decline in rates shown. Check that out right there in the dotted lines. All right, so here are 2 big reasons why that's good news for both buyers and sellers. Number one, it helps alleviate that, what we call that lock-in effect. So for current homeowners, lower mortgage rates could help ease the lock-in effect. That's where people feel stuck with their current home because today's rates are higher than what they locked in at when they bought their current house. So the fear of losing your low-rate mortgage and facing higher costs has kept you out of the market. A slight reduction in rates could make selling a bit more attractive again. However, this isn't expected to bring a flood of sellers to the market, as many homeowners may still be cautious about giving up their existing mortgage rate. Number 2, okay, it should boost buyer activity. So for potential buyers, any drop in mortgage rates will provide a more inviting housing market. Lower mortgage rates can reduce the overall cost of home ownership, making it more feasible for you if you've been waiting to make a move. So while the Federal Reserve rates cut is not expected to lead to drastically lower mortgage rates, it will likely contribute to the gradual decrease that's already happening. Okay. And while the anticipated rate cut represents a positive shift for the future of the housing market, it's important to consider your options right now. Jacob Channel, he's a senior economist over at Lending Tree, right? We have a lot of senior economists here, right? So he says timing the market is basically impossible. If you're always waiting for the perfect conditions, you're going to be waiting forever. Buy now only if it's a good idea for you. So bottom line, the expected federal funds rate cut driven by improving inflation and slower job growth is likely to have a positive, though gradual impact on mortgage rates. That could help unlock opportunities for you. When you're ready, let's connect. That way you'll be prepared to take action when the time is right for you. All right, guys, Mike Quail from the Mike Quail Home Selling Team at eXp Realty Luxury. Have an awesome day.